Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners. Today we're going to tie a web wing Henryville special. The hook I have in the vise is a standard dry fly hook. This is a size 14. The wing, web wing, these flies. This is just something I picked up out of a catalog. But I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with this. What this is a molted tan. This is like a little mesh screen. It's basically organza. Here I cut a strip approximately 3/8 for this size fly, and I folded it over. We're going to take that wing and we're going to cut a round in it. We're as good and close enough to a round as you can possibly get. And I'm cutting that from the folded part, because that's going to be the wing. Then I'm going to cut it one more time. I want to measure it to length, and we want that to be the length of the hook shank. And then I'm going to cut it at an angle, so basically that when you open it up, you'll have a heart. And here it is when you open it up. You got a nice caddis wing right there. And of course the front, that is where we're going to tie it on. I'm going to use a brown 8/0 thread. We're going to put a base of thread down. And we're going to stop it right where the thread would hang at the barb. Go ahead and remove the excess. First thing we're going to put on is the rib, and this is going to be Grizzly Hackle, and you can see I cleared out a large amount there. And I want that first wrap to have no barbels exposed, so I'm going to leave a little bit of the bare section exposed and wrap that down. Now I'm going to take olive. This is super fine dubbing, and we're going to make ourselves a skinny little noodle. And once again, using dubbing that you don't even think is there in your fingers is the amount you want. And you'll get a nice skinny little noodle out of it. Go ahead and push this up. Come back on it just that little bit. And then wrap your noodle. And we can make it a little bit thicker at the front. It's always easier to add more. And we want to end this about 1 to 1.5 eye lengths from the eye of the hook. Now we're going to wind that hackle. We're going to palmer it through. And by leaving that little bit, you see there's nothing getting pushed towards the rear. We're going to go ahead and tie that down. Put a couple of wraps in front of it to secure it. I'm going to go ahead and trim the top off. Now I'm going to take mallard flank, and I'm going to take at least 2 to 4 barbels, and we're going to tie them in on top, and this is going to be our antenna. We're going to let that hang off the back there a little ways. Maybe about 1.5 the length of the hook shank. We're going to tie that in. Don't worry about them sticking up, the wing will hold them down. Go ahead and remove that excess. I'm going to put just a little bit more dubbing on that front there. There we go. Now I'm going to take that web wing and I'm going to lay that on top. We want that to lay off the back there slightly. And we're going to tie that down. Now I'm going to take a furnace hackle. And we're going to tie that in right on the front. Make sure you leave a couple of the trimmed set part exposed. And we're going to give this a few wraps. And tie that off. Put a couple wraps in front of it to lock it in. We could go ahead and wrap that head at the same time there. Going to take my poke and snip, trim that off, take the whip finish, trim that off. Cleaning off my brush really well there so I don't get a big blob. Here we have a web wing Henryville special. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.